Hey folks, Lemonade here, and today I'm going to go over a little care package that GHOSTGLIDES sent my way. We have their new Focus Mousepad, a few set of their PTFE skates, and an arm sleeve. Let's see how this all stacks up right after this. Just a few housekeeping things before we get into it. Sorry for the scuffed packaging, but this is just how the shipping handled it all the way from the UK, not GHOSTGLIDES' fault. And a small disclaimer, they did send me all this stuff free for review, but that will never change the outcome of any review on this channel. My opinions are my own, and you are seeing this as early as GHOSTGLIDES is. Also, if you decide you like the video at some point, don't forget to like and sub down below. It does really help the channel out a lot. Thanks. Okay, so let's knock out the specs of each of these real quick, and I'll throw them up on the screen over here for you. So the review is going to focus mainly on the mousepad itself, but I do want to touch on these real quick. I'll be doing a follow-up video both on the skates and the sleeve during a roundup style video where I rank them versus their competition. Just to note, GHOSTGLIDES only have a few styles of mice supported, and they sent me their G Pro Wireless and G Pro Superlight skates mice that I no longer have in the office. I will try to find a Superlight for cheap so I can probably test these out soon. That said, they did just come out with dots that are universal for every mouse. They're just out of stock at the moment. Last thing before I get into this, the company is based out of the UK, and currently you cannot ship the skates or the sleeve to the United States, and the mousepad is available to ship, but it's like 20 bucks for shipping. That said, I did confirm with Lethal Gaming Gear they should be stocking these in the near future, so if you're interested in any of this stuff, just hold off until Lethal Gaming Gear gets it if you're in the United States. For anyone outside the United States, check their website. Okay, so starting off with the skates, the ones they provided come with one set of skates, but some of the mice that they support have two sets, and the dots come in a set of 20, so those will give you the best bang for your buck. So here are the skates themselves, and no, they are not black. They actually have a protective cover on the outer part, which is actually kind of a nice thing to see. First time I've seen this on skate packaging. They include clear instructions in the box, which is actually a nice touch because some folks don't know. Some mice have like a protective cover under the skates that you need to remove to put third-party skates on. So nice clear instructions there, and this kind of neat little anime inspired sticker that matches their branding. At first glance here, they have a similar look and feel to Tiger Ice or BTL skates with that kind of milky white appearance, but they do have a more subtle, less pronounced rounding to them, which is actually a design feature they chose. They claim that more over exaggerated rounding leads to higher speed and unnatural feel and uneven wearing on skates. Of course, I'll have to test that claim myself. I've never felt that way about other brands, but this will be kind of a fun comparison. By the way, they do still have rounded edges. They just aren't as exaggerated as some. Much better than stock skates though. Okay, so on to the sleeve, and as most of you all know my famous Phoenix sleeve here, I was interested to see if there was a difference in these kind of gamer style sleeves versus what I found on Amazon. I do think performance is similar, but I believe the construction on this is just better overall. I mean, it's really just double stitch everywhere under the cuff here, under this part here, and I'll bring it up a little closer so you can take a look at that. Also, it comes in 3 sizes, which makes it actually easier to get a proper fit. This one is a medium for reference. My Amazon sleeve feels more like a very tight compression sleeve. It's comfortable for me, but I don't have a lot of muscle, so it may not be a great feeling for guys or gals who have a lot of muscle on their arm or forearm. The GHOSTGLIDES sleeve isn't as constrictive, but also has some stretch to it, so you notice it less on your arm. Anyway, I think the sizing options and overall quality are just a safer choice for most gamers. Put it on right now so you can kind of get a side-by-side comparison. And lastly here we got the star of the show, their mousepad. Now usually I go into a lot more depth on my mousepad reviews, but I'm going to keep it a little bit simple going forward on all my newer reviews, and we're going to start with the Ghost Glide Focus Pad. Here is your glider rankings, so you can check that out depending on the skates that you use. So the stitching is a bit thicker than some and it's rounded, but it's level with the surface so you won't notice it. There is no uneven waviness on my copy either. They opted in for a standard rubber base. I like these, but there's nothing particularly special about this. It's old, reliable, gets the job done nicely in terms of keeping locked in on your desk. Okay, but what about the surface itself? Well, it's pretty much a one-for-one comparison of the Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn. This is the non-pro for reference. It feels and performs identically, but there is one differing factor: the foam core itself. The foam in this has a bit more give and squish factor over what Lethal Gaming Gear is using. So because of that, it actually gives you higher stopping force if you want it. For me personally though, it's not my preference for my aim style because I use a fingertip grip with a higher sensitivity. But for people who are wanting a little bit more stopping power on their Saturn with a banger design, this is it. I mean, look at this design. Literally have been begging companies to do cool stuff with their pads, and this is what I mean. First we had Soku this year, but now Ghost Glides. It's so refreshing to see these in-house designs shine. Bravo. Heads up, they are actually looking at making a larger version of this, so if the size won't work, just keep an eye out for that. If you're unfamiliar, by the way, with the Saturn surface and how it actually feels, just to describe this briefly, it has some level of friction, but it's tempered compared to very smooth mud pads. Its static friction is high, so you'll feel it a bit more on your inner hand or those smaller movements, but dynamic friction really isn't an issue. It just helps get you to a hard stop on those fast flicks. So I wanted to finish off with a few answers that I got from them as I try to get to know the brand a little bit more. It does just help me get a better idea of their vision, who they are, and do I feel comfortable recommending them to you guys. So they found the quality and over-exaggerated curves of most skates not ideal for consistent pro play over long wear, so Ghost Glides was born. Founders have an FPS background all the way back from the CS 1.6 days, but they play all sorts of titles to test these products. Ghost Glides got into gaming peripherals back in 2020, but they spent about 7 years studying and developing the scene with pro teams in CSGO, Dota, Valorant, Apex, among other titles. And they weren't just on Zoom calls, they actually went to their training facilities and in arenas to talk to these pros and get feedback. They're looking to continue designing and creating new mouse pads, which is great to hear, with an emphasis on performance, but also interesting designs. According to them, the main goal of the brand is to keep the standard of quality high, keeping a cohesive brand image on everything, and providing designs that are super unique and stand out. They have some cool projects coming that I cannot discuss yet, but overall, I have to say, keep an eye out on Ghost Glides. I really feel like this is an up-and-coming player, and from the products that they've launched thus far, I really think they deserve a little bit more recognition within the community. And on that note, all my socials are down below, along with any affiliate links and discount codes. If you had a good time with me today, likes and subs are always appreciated. Leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts. But until the next Fresh Screws video, stay thirsty, folks.